Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. Its 5-year mission to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before.
Mission log, Buzz Lightyear, Star Command. I'm in a shitty fucking movie. I'm a piece of shit. And everyone hates me. I fucking hate I'm gonna fucking blow my brains out. Buzz Lightyear, Star Command, mission log. I'm taking a big fucking mission log right now.
Slow down there, partner.
Episode's over. I hate this movie. Oh, we can go home now. I want to go to bed. Bye. Goodbye. It's a snowy night of the year. I want to go to bed. Goodbye.
You hated it?
Okay. Okay.
You hated it?
Okay. You know what? You know, if you looked in the mirror, because you've got a little cowlick thing that looks like
Going
Buzz
down on my
Lightyear.
Really? Really?
Yeah. And if
That's
you
good.
shaved your beard, I bet you'd have a little dimple chin.
I do have a dimple chin.
I don't remember. You've had a beard for so long.
Yeah, it hides my double chin. It hides my other chin. Yeah, exactly.
We're all doing it now.
Yeah.
You can't see it, but this is the noise it makes.
Yeah, that's the noise my double chin makes.
Blip, blip, blip. Okay, Buzz Lightyear, the
We're
Lightyear
here
movie.
to wrap up the Toy Story franchise.
Yeah, Buzzkill, lights out. You know,
It's not that bad.
no, it's fine. It's fine. No. Here's the thing with Lightyear 2022. I didn't see it when it came out, because why would I, right? And I heard it was bad. And but before the movie came out,
It had some hullabaloo.
there was some hullabaloo.
There was
And the hullabaloo was, and now, it's sort of infamous tweet, I believe, from Chris Evans, Lightyear himself, clarifying what the conceit of the movie was. He said, it's not a movie about the toy, it's a movie about the real human Buzz Lightyear. The man who inspired the toy. But really what that means is it's a Buzz Lightyear movie that then all of the toys and the merchandise and the cartoons are based off of.
Yeah, there's like an opening scrawl that's like, in 1995, a boy named Andy received a Buzz Lightyear action figure based on a movie. This is that movie.
Yes,
so it
his
actually,
favorite movie.
It posits it as like a film within the film of Toy Story.
Yes.
Like in 1995, Andy was watching this woke, liberal fucking...
Congrats, Andy, you're watching a shitty movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so everyone had a good laugh about that because it's so needlessly convoluted. Like when Chris Evans was like, it's not about the toy, it's about the man behind the toy.
But did he feel like he had to clarify that
Yes.
because other people were confused by it, which is... that's an even stupider prospect because they had the Buzz Lightyear of Star Command TV show and like
Sure.
it was whatever, like it's what if Buzz
That was
Lightyear
a long
was a
time
real
ago,
person.
though. That was like 20 years before this movie came out, right? So
Yeah,
know. I know. So
it's not
Toy Story is a long time ago.
complicated.
No, it's not it's not complicated. It's not complicated.
Yeah.
But what I didn't know until today is that is the text of the movie. Like quite literally, the movie opens with that text.
Yeah.
And when I
forgot about that.
When I was watching it on my commute, shielding my iPad from everyone else so they didn't think I was
were just
I was
watching
some
Lightyear.
weird adult man watching children's cartoons.
He's a simple man.
A simple man, a simple Jack, yeah. So they didn't think I was Gentle Ben watching
on a bus
watching
watching
Buzz
Lightyear.
Yeah.
on a tablet.
My tongue sticking just a little bit out of my mouth, just flies buzzing around my head.
Oh, you have your
Yeah.
like mittens tied to your jacket on a
All
drawstring.
right. All right.
Yeah.
To be clear, we're talking about Forrest Gump level simple, which is perfectly fine and acceptable to make
Socially
fun of.
acceptable
socially
simplicity.
acceptable simplicity.
Sass.
Exactly. Sass. Thank you. Well said.
Thanks.
And when the text came up, I was like, "Oh, right, this whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, why put that at the beginning of the movie and then not?" And this is nitpicky and this is cinema sinsy and whatever. And I know people have talked about this to death, but if this is supposed to be a movie from 1995, don't they try to go for that style? Like, why don't they try to make it seem like it's a movie from 1995?
It feels very much like a movie from 2022.
It's one of the most 2022 feeling movies. And it's nothing to do with the woke liberal agenda.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about like the kind of plot or conceit of the movie.
Yeah.
Because I'd forgotten about this, but on rewatching it, I was surprised when I first watched it too. The structure of the movie is very interesting. It feels
weird.
Very 2022.
Yes, it does.
Like, it's not a rip-roaring adventure through space. It's all about how they get stuck on a planet within the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And they're trying to, like, leave. And then there's, like, temporal manipulation.
Like, it's Interstellar.
I was going to say, it's like a Chris Nolan movie.
Yeah, it's just Interstellar.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I wouldn't normally harp on this too much, but the movie, sets it up that way. It's the first thing you see, aside from the Disney castle or whatever, is this is the gambit we're going for. And if you're going to include that in your movie and start your movie that way, then I would expect it to, I expect them to try to make it 90s-ish aesthetically or plot-wise or something in some way.
There was a moment.
Whatever. Who cares? It's not good, though.
They're
sorry, I'll save that.
Fighting like the vines at the beginning on the planet, and it's like a very like action-y scene where the camera's kind of spinning around, and I was like, oh yeah, they're going for like kind of cliche action cinematography or whatever, camera movements.
Yeah.
Almost Bad Boys-ish with the spinning around and stuff like
I suppose.
that. Bad Me Back Boy.
Bad Me Back Boy, yeah.
But
Buzz Me Buzz Buzz.
I know what you mean. You know what? Like, watching this movie made me really want to rewatch Galaxy Quest, which I consider a perfect film.
Much better movie than this.
Galaxy Quest rules.
Yeah.
I wish Galaxy Quest was part of a franchise.
Yeah. I wish it was real. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I wish Justin Long was real, not just a figment of our collective
I
imaginations.
know. I wish, Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Poor Justin Long.
Yeah.
But this is him disappearing into the ether. Help me! Oh no!
Oh no! Oh yeah. Walrus, yes.
Tusk.
Oh, did I? I don't think I mentioned this to you, but you remember I was talking about how I watched one of those VHS movies, like the segments.
This is a few episodes
Justin
ago.
Long and his sibling, like I know there's more. There's an extended Long universe.
Oh my God! What's his sibling's name?
I don't remember. That's why I said sibling. I don't remember if it was a sister, brother. I don't remember the name, but it was
Susan
definitely
Long.
it was definitely Justin Long and
Jerry Long.
Blank Long, Jerry Long. Yeah, Richard Long, of course. Get it? That's right. Well, welcome to the franchisees. Late night, Buzz Lightyear. Those are all that's the sound effects boards.
Pew pew.
Flush. I can't do the flush noise, How does anyway, don't worry about it. Justin Long, a VHS segment that is like so clearly like he's like got Tusk on the brain, or like he was like Tusk like gave him PTSD or whatever. The T, of course, standing for Tusk, post Tusk, etc. And it's a movie about like a dog breeder or like dogs, like a dog shelter lady who like turns people into dogs. It's very Tusk-esque.
Tusk affected him.
Yeah.
Tusk affected all of us.
It's also it's too bad. It's bad, not quite as bad as Tusk, which I will remind you, I caught probably the last like half an hour of it. Friend of the show, past and future guest Joel Edmonston's Halloween movie marathon, and with a room full of Toronto's best and brightest comedian minds riffing over top.
I'm sure.
They could not be salvaged. It was just, I hadn't seen it. I only seen it the one time. It was a long time ago.
Same, yeah.
Seeing that bit again, I was like, this is gotta be one of the worst movies ever made. It is interminable. It was awful. It was like all the bits with like Johnny Depp as his like French Canadian, just babbling on and on about nonsense. Awful movie.
You know what's funny is, you know those like reels? It's like these movies will fuck you up. These movies will scare you for life. Change the way you see things. Occasionally, Tusk comes up on those lists.
Of course.
And it's just like, get out of here. Who was watching Tusk being like, oh no?
Well,
I don't want to be a walrus.
Well, Tusk will fuck you up. Watching that movie will kill you immediately, instantly. I'm afraid to ever do the Smith View Askew-universe,
Oh, it's
which I don't
inevitable.
think it really counts as. But
No, it counts as the True North trilogy. As soon as he drops Moose Jaws,
Yeah.
we're dropping whatever we're doing and doing the True North trilogy.
I agree.
Which is Tusk, Yoga Hosers,
And whatever, Moose Jaws or
forthcoming
whatever
Moose
it
Jaws.
is. Yeah. This will be so long, you will drop your newborn baby on its head to rush over to the microphone.
franchisees are doing the True North trilogy. Baby just goes splat.
Splat. Yeah, baby go splat. Yeah.
Baby do go splat.
Oh my God, I'm so tired.
Yeah, me too.
I watched Lightyear today. It's a bad day because of that. It wasn't a bad day because of that. It was busy at work.
There's
But
a
I'll
blizzard
tell you,
going on.
There's a blizzard going on. I trudged in the snow. It was awful.
Me too.
I feel terrible. I want to go to bed.
Instead, you're here
instead I'm
across
here.
town
Yes.
talking about Lightyear.
Yes. Yeah, it's pretty fucking bleak. It's not ideal.
It could be worse.
I could be in my bed.
It could be worse.
You're right. I'm sorry. I take it back.
We could be talking about Minions too.
I don't know. I mean, Lightyear is not good.
Banana.
It's probably
fine.
It's not.
It really is.
It's not. It's like soulless. It shouldn't exist. It should not exist.
No, I don't agree.
No, it's okay. Aside from the fact that it seems to me like a pretty craven cash grab, and it
Similar
and it
to
shouldn't
Toy
exist.
Story 4.
Sure, similar to Toy Story 4. Toy Story 4 at least has some beautiful moments in it, right?
Sure.
There's at least a little bit of poetry left over in Toy Story.
I wouldn't call
4.
it poetry.
There's a little
I
bit
would
of
not call it
There's a little bit of
poetry.
poetry.
No, I wouldn't
There's
call
a
it
teensy
poetry.
little bit of poetry.
This is
in
where
it.
the cracks are showing.
No, okay,
It's not poetry.
Okay, it's not poetry. Okay, maybe it's acrostic poems. The simple the ones you do in kindergarten.
Lightyear is baby's first sci-fi movie.
Yeah, and it's bad.
No, it's
bad.
fine.
No, it's
As
not.
like a child's introduction to like sci-fi adventure, it's totally fine.
I mean, sure. Yeah, sure. Okay, I am judging it by the standards of Pixar, I guess, right?
It's by far away like not the worst Pixar.
It's one of the worst Pixar movies I've seen. It might be the worst Pixar movie I've seen. Actually, come to think of it, I think it is. We've talked about the ones we haven't seen. There's a bunch I haven't seen, but I think this is the worst Pixar movie I've seen.
Well, that seems pretty crazy to me.
What else is in contention?
I think I'd rather watch this than Cars. I think I'd rather watch Lightyear than Cars. Again, I haven't seen Cars in a long time.
I'm sure Cars is better than this.
Cars 2. Cars
Yeah, well,
3.
Cars 2 is probably terrible. I haven't seen it. Cars 2 might be the nadir.
I think I tried watching Cars 2 once. It didn't last.
Yeah. I think it's bad because I don't think it's a story that's like, I don't think the story is very good. I don't think it's a story that's worth telling. Also, I think it fundamentally misunderstands what makes the Buzz Lightyear character funny or interesting, right? Like, but the Buzz Lightyear we know and love, the toy, right? We love because he's so self-serious and he's so deluded, and then when he realizes in his arc in the first Toy Story is so magnificent,
Yeah, but that's the toy. This is the man.
Yeah,
The man's issue is that he's like he's
sucks.
a perfectionist who can do everything like on his own.
Yeah, but it's just not interesting.
It's not as interesting, but it's not like I don't think it just blows.
I think it blows because
Well, that's fine.
like
That's your opinion, man.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm here doing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here. I'm not trying to offend you.
You're not.
I'm just trying to say you're off your rocker, man.
Well, that's
No,
the annoying part.
No, you're not off your rocker. You're not off your rocker. I see why you think it's fine. I just think it's like it doesn't have the heart and soul that the other Pixar movies have. It feels much closer to something like DreamWorks. It's not the same humor as DreamWorks. It's still the same Pixar jokes. Like, for example, the Socks cat, the robot cat, is amazing. It's funny and it's totally designed to, like all these other little cute characters, like to make you fall in love with it. And I did, and and it is really genuinely cute. It's one of the Pixar guys who does the voice, Peter Sohn, who does a lot of good voices, and unfortunately the ones he's directed are The Good Dinosaur and Elemental, which are two of the lesser loved ones.
There you go.
but his performance as Socks is very good.
Mm-hmm.
The voice cast is fine, generally speaking. Even Taika Waititi, who we like to take a big dump on for his riffing on a level that was frickin' sublime. He is perfectly fine here, and he is a funny voice actor.
Yeah, for sure. He's got a
great voice.
Yeah. Keke Palmer is good.
Keke Palmer is very good. Yeah.
Josh Brolin as
Zurg. Yeah. So that's all fine. I just think the story is what's so bad. The story, the animation is okay. It's not as impressive as something like Toy Story 4, but I don't think it's a good story, and I don't think it really has any developed characters, which normally for something like this, you would be like, well, whatever, it's a kid's movie. But this is Pixar, right? It's a higher standard. That's what I mean. I think it falls very short of that standard.
The story is weird, and it's definitely like a curveball from what you would have expected.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I first watched it, I think I was kind of expecting a space opera journey to different planets or something versus just kind of mostly taking place on Vine World.
Vine, yeah. Yeah.
But the fact that it was like, Interstellar Junior, I thought I found it kind of nifty. The revelation of spoilers, who cares? No one's gonna watch Lightyear, and if you do, I don't know. If you're listening to this and you want to watch Lightyear, you've probably already seen it.
If you watch Lightyear because we're doing it on this podcast, it's not that serious. You don't have to do that. You don't have. I would never discourage listeners from playing along with our game, our twisted jigsaw-like game.
It's the way to do it.
It's the way to do it, 100%. But you do not have to do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Probably.
It's one of those you don't have to do. You should watch Toy Story 1 through 4. But you do not have to have watched Paranormal Activity 4 or whatever. Don't put yourself through it. It's not that bad. I'm with you.
Yeah.
But I think by the standards of Pixar, I think it's quite a disappointment.
You seem to be really precious about Buzz Lightyear. I think Toy Story 4 isn't necessarily mandatory viewing either.
No, I don't think it is either. I think it's but compared to this, it's like Citizen fucking Kane.
I don't think they're that there's that much of a divide.
I think they are.
This didn't make me cry or anything.
Did it make you laugh?
Socks did, yeah. There's a moment where they're like, Socks, we did it or something. He's like, congratulations, I am terrified or something like that.
I did not enjoy my time or whatever. Yeah. Socks is funny. Anything outside of Socks? Is anything outside of Socks fun or funny?
Probably not, from what I remember. But I wasn't rolling on the floor laughing at Toy Story 4 either.
No, you don't need to roll on the floor. But you have a
hearty guffawing.
You didn't even guffaw?
Not really.
All right, well that's fair. That's fair. It's okay.
But yeah, I guess mostly I viewed it as just like a children's sci-fi romp, and in that sense, it's kind of fun, and I thought it had some pretty neat sci-fi ideas, like the whole re-entering the atmosphere through those kind of break circles thing. That was just an interesting little detail of the world, and the temporal stuff. It's I think also kind of fun, kids' first time travel movie, and they don't make it too complicated like fucking Chris Nolan would love to do, or just enough to. Interstellar's
pretty simple though, right? It's pretty much the exact same thing as this movie.
Yeah.
The time dilation stuff, right?
Yeah, but he's just traveling. He's traveling light years, I guess.
Yeah. I mean that's actually the thing that I haven't seen Interstellar since I first saw it. When I first saw it, I thought it was corny bullshit, right? Now
literally there's a lot of corn.
There's a lot of corn. Yeah, it's true. And then all of a sudden no corn. Right?
Which is the problem. Why they have to leave Earth.
Yeah, it's true.
It's not enough corn.
I was turned off by the whole the mystery of the universe is love and blah blah blah, and reaching through the Tesseract and all this.
Yeah.
Now, if I watch it again, would I love it? Maybe. I don't know. It's possible. I'm softer, and I've warmed up to Chris Nolan a bit more. But it's pretty much the same kind of thing, which is kind of funny. And Interstellar is very simple too. It literally is as simple as at the end, love conquers all, which is not the message of this movie. The message of this movie is working together as a team, I guess. I don't know.
I took more for it
not being a perfectionist.
Mistakes are okay to make. You don't have to go back to fix your mistakes. You could just kind of learn from them and move on.
Yeah.
Which I think is a fine lesson for kids in the year 2022.
I agree. It's a fine lesson. I just don't think it's a particularly interesting lesson. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's obviously doesn't like get into the weird existential stuff of Toy Story, but
yeah,
like,
which is what I think is good about those movies.
yeah, but
Yeah.
like very few animated films do.
Yeah, which is why the Toy Story movies are better than almost all the other animated movies. You see my
This
my-
isn't a Toy Story movie.
my
It's
train of
Lightyear.
logic? No, motherfucker,
It's
it
its
is.
own-
No, it is. It is.
It's the first. It's a new hope in a new
Yeah.
trilogy.
Yeah, well, they're never making any more of these.
Was
movies.
it not successful?
I don't think it's not that it was not successful. I think Pixar themselves holds themselves to a higher standard than this.
Well,
and-
clearly not.
Well, I don't know. Like, there's an interesting quote I saw here from Mr. Pixar himself, Pete Docter. Here you go.
Oh, it barely made money.
When asked about Lightyear in 2023, Pixar's chief creative officer Pete Docter stated that while the studio loves the characters and the premise, he believed we asked too much of the audience. When they hear Buzz, they're like, great, where's Mr. Potato Head and Woody and Rex? And then we drop them into this science fiction film that they're like, what?
Again, that doesn't make sense to me.
It makes, hang on. It was just a little too distant, both in concept and I think in the way that the characters were drawn, that they were portrayed. The characters in Toy Story are much broader, and so I think there was a disconnect between what people wanted and expected and what we were giving to them. And I think there is some truth to that. Like, I'm not speaking for the average kid. I have no idea I'm sure there are kids who saw this who absolutely love it, right? Because kids love all sorts of things, and that's great. But I think, like, from the perspective of this being a Toy Story spin-off, and therefore comparable to other Toy Story movies, I don't think this really delivers what people would have wanted from those movies.
Well,
Like,
yeah, it's very different.
it's very different,
Yeah.
and I like, good for them for trying something different. But I still don't really see any reason why this should have been like a Lightyear movie. Like, what if they just made this as its own separate thing? I think it might be better if they just kind of made their own separate sci-fi story, rather than have it be in this Buzz Lightyear trappings. It feels a little cynical to me, that sort of thing.
Well,
Even if it came from a place of love, which I'm sure it did. Every Pixar press release is like, this director had this idea since they were 5,
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
grew up and they've always wanted to make this movie, and blah
Sure
blah
they
blah.
did, yeah.
Yeah, sure, buddy, yeah.
Well, I just think that's like a shame because, as I said, when I was younger, I did watch the Buzz Lightyear of Star Command, and I did like the idea of like Buzz Lightyear as the Space Ranger versus just the toy, you
Yeah.
know? But I guess the world wasn't ready for it. I was actually disappointed when I first watched it that it wasn't set in that universe, with his little band, his little Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, yeah.
And on the show, they had a vampire robot called Nos4A2.
That's
Would
funny.
suck the energy and electricity out of people. So I was hoping for like nods to that kind of stuff, but it's more just Interstellar.
It's a very like serious, straightforward movie, which I think is like a bad decision. I thought it was going to be fun. You know what I mean? I thought it was going to be like you were saying, like a fun rollicking space adventure.
Yeah.
And it's kind of not fun or funny. And that's okay, but it doesn't.
It should have been
interest
more
me.
fun and more funny, but I don't think it's a complete void of that stuff.
I don't think it's the worst movie ever made or anything. I'm
Yeah.
sorry I'm coming a little hot. I just watched it. Like, I just watched it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I was like, I just kind of scratching my head, like, why? That's all. I'm not like, it didn't tick me off or whatever. I'm just kind of
It's like the
what's
same reason
point?
they made Finding Dory. Like,
Yeah, which I haven't seen and maybe is good, but that's another thing where it's like,
I don't think it is. Like,
Well,
from what
who
I
knows?
remember. So
yeah, who knows?
I just think we're past we're post Pixar preciousness, Like
I'm not being precious about Pixar.
no, I mean they themselves with their own IP.
Oh, well, yeah, like a long time ago, right?
Yeah.
As soon as they did Toy Story 2, as good as it is. No, they don't have to have these like some sort of harsh ruling of like no sequels or whatever, right?
Well, they definitely don't have that.
They
now.
definitely don't have that.
Incredibles
it's
2.
for kids. Yeah, of course, right? But I don't know. It just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I was like, why did they make this?
I guess because when I first watched it, I was expecting to hate it, and then the fact that
you
wasn't.
You also watched it with kids, right?
First time, yes.
Yeah, that's a whole different experience.
Sure, yeah.
And did they enjoy it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, if I watched it with some kids or whatever, and they enjoyed it, and
I was the curmudgeon-y adult who was like, "You guys want to watch this?" And then I was like, "Oh, that was totally fine."
I wouldn't have. Yeah, exactly. I would never have that attitude. Well, I mean, okay, if I were like a parent and I had to watch like 50 of these movies a year, I would
Maybe
have that attitude.
Down
I would
you,
probably, yeah. But I don't think I would have that attitude with kids. I'd be like, listen, like, let's watch what you want to watch. And if you like it and enjoy it, that's great, right? Like, I must have told this before, but my grandpa Steve, who like in his like DVD collection, I remember looking at, had like Eric Romer films and like all this like intellectual shit, compared to what I was like 10, right? And I remember we had the DVD of Lost in Space, like the Lost in Space 90s movie, which is terrible, like legendarily very bad. Yeah. And we watched it. I remember him afterwards, like he clearly hated it. I could tell he was having a hard time getting through it. But I remember afterwards he was like, that was a really interesting movie, Ben. like good pick, or whatever.
Yeah. I remember going to see The Mummy Returns in theaters with my dad. And we came out and I was like, well, that was pretty good. And he was like, you like that?
Yeah, well, this seems to be a theme with your dad, yeah.
I was like, I'm 12, dude.
Yeah. Hey, lay off.
I have the fucking taste of a 12-year-old, man.
Oh, that reminds me, actually. I'm pretty sure we rented The Scorpion King for like one of my birthdays.
Nice.
It's like, so we watched it together, probably with my parents too, like a bunch of kids, I don't know, like 11 or 12, I don't know. And there's a scene where, I think this is The Scorpion King, maybe it is the second Mummy. No, whatever. There's a scene where there's like, whatever, the female lead, the princess or something, is in like a room with all these other women or whatever. And, Dwayne "The Rock" Scorpion King Johnson bursts in, right? And she says something like, oh, I've been so lonely, it's thank you for coming to save me or something. And one of my friends was like, why is she lonely? There's all sorts of there's tons of ladies there, like, she's got lots of friends. And my dad thought that was so funny. Just so innocent, being like, why is she lonely? There's lots of people around.
Lonely.
Yeah.
She's got tons of friends. That's really cute.
Yeah, it was cute. That was a good kid. I don't remember which kid that was, but he was a good kid, whoever he was.
I wish The Rock just adopted the Scorpion King as his wrestler persona.
That'd be pretty cool.
Like, what's The Rock? The Scorpion King's the Scorpion King, but a rock's just a rock.
Iraq?
Yes.
Iraq?
Iraq.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dwayne Iraq Johnson?
Iraq Johnson.
Yeah,
yes.
he could. I don't know.
Dwayne the Scorpion King Johnson.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Like he just showed up as the Scorpion King every match.
But not the version in the Scorpion King movie. The version at the end of Mummy Returns.
The half man, half scorpion feature. Yeah,
one of the most legendarily awful CGI. Sorry, best
seen.
CGI you've ever seen.
Which is so funny because the first Mummy from 1999 looks pretty good for
amazing effects.
Yeah. The face in the sand and shit.
All sorts of that movie scared the shit out of me.
Same.
Yeah, Same. I was like, I had nightmares.
You know what scared the shit
nightmares.
Out of me from it was those like Egyptian monks who were like all gold.
I don't remember that.
Those really freaked me out. I was like, why are they gold?
Mommy, when I grow up, do I have to be smothered in gold?
They're like his priest follower people at the beginning, and they're all like executed with him.
Oh,
and
yeah,
stuff.
Okay, sure.
And they have a scene of just them getting like tortured before he gets executed and whatnot.
We should watch. Let's do the Mummy movies.
But now, would we have to do like the original, like black and white Mummy movies, and then the Mummy with your boy T. Cruz?
Well,
Terry Crews.
Yeah, Terry Crews. That would be a much better movie. No offense to Thomas Mayweather Cruz the fourth or whatever.
Thomas Mayweather Cruz.
Mayweather. That is his name. That's his name. Yeah. Okay. Well, we've made certain tough decisions before, so like for example, if we were to ever do like something like James Bond, right? Would we do all the James Bond movies? That would take forever.
Yes.
Or would we do them in chunks, like Roger Moore, Sean Connery, etc. Right? If we were ever to do Marvel
We're
movies,
dedicate
God forbid,
a year to James Bond, a year of our lives to James Bond.
I want to do James Bond. I want to do them, but we'd have to figure it out. So if we were to do like the Mummy, would we do all the Universal mummies?
How many
like
mummies do you think there are total?
Well, this is complicated because in the Universal mummies, there's a lot. There's like Mummy, I don't know all the names. There's like the Mummy's Hand, the Mummy's Curse, like all those old Universal movies are so great. Like Dracula's Daughter, right? like Son of Frankenstein, or Frankenstein meets so and so, and this and that. There's so many of them. And then there's Hammer horror. So there's Hammer mummies, there's tons of those. Then there's all sorts of offshoots that are like not really necessarily the same intellectual property, if you want to say that.
Sure.
And then you have the 90s mummies, and then you have the Tom Cruise mummy, and blah, 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 blah. So what would we do? We would just have to make it up, right?
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, I know. It's complicated. We could easily just say we're doing this mummy series, as in Mummy Returns, whatever.
Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor.
Yeah, I don't think I ever saw that.
I don't think I did either.
Is that
then the
with
Tom
Jet
Cruise
Li?
mummy, yes, the Jet
That's
Li
crazy.
one.
I don't think I ever saw that.
Yeah.
And then Scorpion King. But then if you do Scorpion King, there's like 3 or 4 direct-to-DVD sequels.
Are there?
With other lesser wrestlers.
Rey Mysterio as the Scorpion King.
Yes.
The one of the fun. I don't think I ever watched this live as a kid, but I've seen it after the fact. But there was like during WrestleMania or something, the big title fight was a battle between Rey Mysterio and some other guy, and it was a ladder match. And at the top of the ladder was a briefcase containing the adoption papers to like a young boy. It was like Rey Mysterio's opponent's son, but the storyline was that he was like a bad dad. He was like an abusive dad.
Oh.
So Rey Mysterio wanted to adopt him, so they had to wrestle and get to the papers at the top of this ladder to adopt the boy. And while they were doing that, they would keep cutting to the boy like in the stands watching, and he's there with like his quote unquote social worker. Watching these two men wrestle to see who gets to have custody. It's one of the funniest things wrestling is. I think it's probably the funniest thing wrestling has ever done. You can watch it on YouTube. Search Rey Mysterio ladder match for child's custody.
I will watch that later. I think that's very funny.
It's really, really funny.
I know. I always want. I should have. Maybe it's too late to get into wrestling. To just go back and get really into it.
The
I think
old
it's too
stuff?
late. Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know. It's too late for me, man.
Like right now, it's 11:30, and that's just too late.
It's too late. I got to go to bed. Yeah, I got to work tomorrow. I got to do another one of these awful shifts where everyone's screaming and everyone's like, "My flight was canceled.
Reimburse me."
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't have anything to do with that.
Do I look like Air Canada to you, lady?
Yeah. What are you talking about?
Do I look like JetBlue?
Do I look like Sunwing? Do you want to name airlines? I know a lot. Do I
probably know more than me?
Yeah,
do I look like Qantas?
Yeah. Do I look
like Qantas, mate?
Do I look like Air Transat from Quebec?
Is that where they're based out?
Air Transat?
I didn't know that.
Oui, mais oui.
Yeah,
name another. Name you. Yeah,
okay,
you like flying. Name 10 airlines.
Oh, welcome to Aer Lingus.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it was
Aer Lingus.
pretty good.
Okay, 10 airlines.
Okay.
Aer Lingus.
Yeah.
Lufthansa.
Yeah.
Air France.
Okay.
United Air.
Okay.
WestJet. Did I say WestJet
nope.
yet?
No. You only need 5.
WestJet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Shit. What
Air
are they
Canada?
called? Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Duh.
American.
Air
Name all the 9/11 ones.
United.
You already
Airlines,
said United.
American Airlines.
Yeah, American.
All
right. What are we
Delta?
doing here? What are we doing here?
We're giving the listeners what they want. Okay, well, before we go into an extremely long and in-depth analysis of Lightyear, should we do the movie roundup?
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, what else do we have to do? This is going to be the shortest episode ever. I'm so excited. Okay, what did you watch, Alex? I know you actually saw a movie today.
Yes, I did. And I think, didn't we also record like yesterday or the day before? So I only have one for you.
Yeah, we've been hitting it.
We've been knocking them out, banking them up.
Banking.
I saw Bring Them Down, the Irish film by Christopher Andrews, starring Barry Keoghan and Christopher Abbott and Cole Meany. And I thought it was good. I likened it to a cross between, remember the Jeremy Saulnier movie Blue Ruin?
Yes.
That and the Icelandic film Rams, which I've never seen.
Okay.
And then, of course, everyone's favorite Irish film, Kneecap.
Yes. Yes.
Because it's set in Ireland and they sometimes speak that language.
Irish-like.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's another one of these kind of circle of revenge movies. Revenge leaves everyone destroyed and in ruins and stuff like that. And we've got a million of them.
Yeah.
This one is competently made. I kind of enjoy, these movies because everyone has a Shakespearean impulse to solve all their problems through violence instead of actually just sitting down and being like, okay, let's hash this out. Like, what really happened here? How are you feeling? Instead it's these big operatic emotions. I just think for a movie to kind of cross the threshold from just being good, it's got to be like even crazier, even more operatic. There's got to be some like psycho scenes in it,
Sure.
or really Machiavellian backstabbing or slighting. There was one moment that was kind of weird and disturbing in its own way that I won't spoil, that I thought got close to it, but it never really crossed over the edge from being good to great for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that played at TIFF this year.
Yes.
And I had heard similar things like that. It was okay, but not particularly. Yeah, not great.
Yeah, it's just funny, like someone steals someone's sheep and Cole Meany's like, "Get revenge for me, Christopher Abbott." And Christopher Abbott goes and wreaks havoc, and it's like, "Oh, what have you done, Christopher Abbott? You brought a ruin on our name."
What have you done, Christopher Robin?
Yeah.
Winnie the Pooh has lost a lot of weight.
Go kill Paddington in Peru, Christopher Abbott.
That didn't make any sense. Why does Winnie the Pooh lost weight? I don't know what I was going for there. Like he's famished. He's famished to the potato famine. Sorry to invoke the famine. I'm not even speaking Irish. To be fair, I'm partly Irish, so I can say these things.
So am I.
Get out of here! I know that's not true.
I'm from Galway. My family hails from Galway in the Aran Islands.
Okay, that sounded some sort of convincing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyway, that's what I saw.
Right. Yeah, you could do a pretty killer Christopher Abbott.
Christopher Abbott.
And
that's the crazy thing. Christopher Abbott fucking executive produced this and stars in it and speaks, Irish in it and with an Irish accent. He's pretty good. I think Christopher Abbott's underrated. I think Barry Keoghan's overrated, but he's fine in this.
I think you're right. Barry Keoghan have you heard the news? He's going to play Ringo.
Barry Keoghan's playing Ringo.
Peace and love, no more letters. Peace and love.
Oh, I fucked a grave.
Did that? Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. I was thinking about Ringo. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Ringo also. Famous necrophile Ringo Starr.
Well, maybe. I mean, we don't know. Speaking of necrophilia, there was a guest. There's a guest. I'm not allowed to say this.
What?
No, it's no. Let's just say looking through who's lined up to come to the hotel, a name popped out. George Harrison.
What?
That's the name, George Harrison. And obviously it's not the Beatle because he's dead, But
so you want to fuck him?
No. I was just thinking, just for a second, the thought, sparked in my brain. What if it is the reanimated corpse of George Harrison?
Reanimated George Harrison.
Yeah.
I've come back from the dead. It's grotty down there. It's grotty in hell.
Oh, George, it's Paul. Hey, thanks for coming back. I'm really happy you're here.
Thank you for having me, Paul.
Oh, it's John. I'm also dead.
Can I come back, fellas?
That's better. You're so much better at them than I am.
I'm getting lucky tonight. Normally, I'm just like, duh, I'm the Beatles.
Duh, I'm the Beatles. Yeah. Oh, and Paul Mescal's playing me, Paul McCartney.
Well, that's great because his name is Paul.
Yeah, it's less confusing, for him. And I've never been.
It's less confusing for the audience.
Yeah, his best Buzz Lightyear is the human that the toy is based on. Don't you know?
Yeah, it's not a movie about the toys, but people don't seem to get it. It's a movie about the man.
It's a movie about the man.
You got to look beyond the toys. I think it's better than Toy Story. Fuck you.
You're wrong. You're wrong. You're simply wrong. Yeah.
Imagine the man and not the toy.
Imagine the man.
You got to move past it, man.
What?
This is
Imagine no toys. Imagine only men.
Imagine Buzz Lightyear.
This is I don't know why I think it's so funny. It's just so
It's the worst episode of the pod.
It's the worst episode of the show on the worst night of the year.
It is truly a terrible night. We just open it with an argument about Lightyear and then just evolve into shitty voices.
Imagine no toys. Oh, imagine only men.
It's a world
Imagine
without
all
toys.
those men being based on toys. Wait. Imagine all those. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Imagine all those toys being based on men.
So you're telling me,
I'm sorry,
Ben, in all honesty,
yeah,
if they didn't come out with a Woody movie, you wouldn't be all over that with Chris Pratt as Woody. What's
don't
Woody's
know.
last name? Like Woody? Does he have a last name?
I don't think so.
Woody
I think it's just Sheriff Woody.
Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson, yeah, maybe.
Woody Snakebite.
It's not Woody Snake. I don't think
Does
he's
he
just
have a
Sheriff
name?
Woody. I don't think he does. Look it up.
What if they made like spin-off movies for all the toys? Now that'd be something.
I just think it's a bad idea, and I don't think they're going to do that again because they learned their lesson. Not that like Lightyear is like an abomination. It's just not up to the same standard. That's all.
I'm gonna petition for the Woody movie.
What was I thinking about? Oh yeah, that. Sorry, I'm just thinking about John Lennon now. you know Peter Serafinowicz, the
Yeah, I know that guy.
comedian. Yeah. He on one of his shows he would do an impression of John Lennon, where he was doing Imagine, and he's like. He would do all the Beatles, and his Imagine joke was like, "I've got so much money, I was the best one out of the Beatles." I think about that every time.
That guy is funny.
He's funny.
This sucks. Apparently, Woody's full name is Woody Pride.
Woody what?
Woody Pride.
Pride?
Pride.
No.
Yeah.
According to what?
Wikipedia.
But where does that ever come up?
I don't know.
Did we ever see it? That's weird.
Probably in the Woody movie that they're going to release. Stop being a hater.
Okay. It would be funny. It would be funny if they released a sister film to Lightyear called Woody.
Oh my God.
And it was all about Woody and starring, and here we go, because they have to recast the voice, because they recast the voice here. You know who I'm about to say?
Woody Harrelson.
The Woodman. The one and only Woodman, Woody Allen.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Look at this concept art of Woody.
What the fuck is that? Oh, as an evil ventriloquist dummy. That's awful. Can you imagine if they did that?
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah, incredible, right?
That looks like an awful like 90s album cover for some shitty band.
There's a snake in my boot.
Yeah. Don't even get me started.
All right.
No, I don't think, but think about it, because we know he can do it because he did Ants.
We know he can do it.
We know he can do it.
Ants.
Yeah, we know he can do it.
He's Woody Allen the ant in that.
He's like okay. So Woody is coming out in 2029. Woody Allen will be 150 years old. To celebrate his 150th birthday, they will cast him
as Woody Pride.
Yeah, and it will be the greatest movie ever made. And you're talking about movies that are revenge plots that maybe don't go far enough or maybe aren't go hard enough, right?
Yeah.
Where they take the revenge and the people get what they deserve. Well, Woody Allen is very good at he is making a certain type of movie. He makes a lot of different types of movies over and over again. And one of those types of movies is Crimes and Misdemeanors, where you do something bad and you get away with it, and then you just have to live with it.
Okay.
And that could be the plot of Woody.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, where he
maybe sells out his deputy or something.
He shoots the wrong man, or
like
something
Insomnia.
Like that. Yeah, it's just like Insomnia. Yeah,
I've got to go to sleep. I'm Woody.
I'm so tired.
I haven't slept since I shot my deputy.
I just need to sleep. And he what's the name of the detective in it's like Dormer, right? Because he's sleepy. Yeah. And Al Pacino's like, I'm so tired, I gotta go to sleep.
And Robin Williams like, you should really go to sleep.
This is just a great excuse to do all our favorite voices.
And you know what's funny?
I'm so tired.
Woody, the movie, is Insomnia as Lightyear was Interstellar.
Yes.
So all these Pixar spin-off toy movies will just be like skins of Chris Nolan movies for kids.
Well, that's sort of the problem with Buzz Lightyear, is that it's a Pixar skin of Interstellar.
I think that's one of his greatest strengths.
And Woody will be the Pixar skin of Insomnia, which is for some reason the next Chris Nolan movie they choose to remake instead of something like Tenet. Yeah, the one that everybody loves. Yeah. I'm so tired, I just gotta go to bed.
And then you get to see, all the surprising voice actor choices for Jesse and Bullseye, and Stinky Pete will be there.
Yeah, the whole Woody Allen collective. Mia Farrow, Diane Keaton.
Oh God.
Of course,
Diane
Wallace Shawn. Wallace Shawn will just play Mr. Potato Head.
Rex.
Oh yeah, sorry, Rex.
Yeah.
Who I guess in the Woody movie could be I don't know. He's kind of like the cowardly prospector guy, not Stinky Pete. This is getting too convoluted.
Yes.
But like more like a Walter Brennan type. You know who Walter Brennan is, right? Walter Brennan. Hey there, Duke. There's gold in them hills.
Maybe you could refresh my memory.
You tried making me bribe you. Alex did the little money thing. What do you do? What do you call it?
Maybe my
rubbing
old
your
friend
fingers.
Sir Wilfrid Laurier.
No.
Is he on any of our money?
Yes, of course he is.
Which one's he on?
He's on the 10.
He's on the 10.
Oh well, he's on some of the 10s.
Maybe,
no, is he on the 5? We're bad.
Maybe a few Wilfrid Lauriers could jog my memory.
We're so bad. Is he on the 5? Fuck. He's on the 5. We're so screwed. Canada is becoming the 51st state.
Canada's cooked.
We're in so much trouble. Oh my God.
Kinda.
Okay, back to the worst episode of the podcast ever.
You were going to do your movie roundup.
Oh yeah. Okay. So, all right. I'm sorry. I can't even do it right now. I can't even do the good. I can't even do it.
You might as well try.
Never bet on a horse with Parkinson's disease. He says that. That's in Curse of the Jade Scorpion. That's one of his bits.
Okay,
yeah. Terrible. It's terrible. Okay, I can't do it. I really can't do it. Sometimes I can do it, but not right now.
That's okay.
I'm Woody shy.
You gave the people enough.
Oh, more than enough, I'm sure. All right. Well, I did watch a movie yesterday. I was talking about Joan Micklin Silver, Bernice Bobs Her Hair, which you sent me a clip of that you saw. You were like, "What is this shit?" or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's really good. It is.
No,
really,
it does.
It is really good.
I love Shelley Duvall and Bud Cort.
Love Bud Cort. Yeah, Bud Cort is now in session. They're from Arrested Development, of course. Now, I need to go and watch the rest of her movies, and I've been meaning to. Between the Lines is something I've been meaning to see for so long. I will definitely watch it this year. But I don't know. I just felt like revisiting the only one of her movies I'd seen, which is Chilly Scenes of Winter, which I've talked about a lot in the show. That I talked about it in the last episode.
Have you?
I've talked about it before.
Oh.
I love this movie. And when I looked, I saw it on Valentine's Day, 2021. So it's time, to watch it again. Not quite on Valentine's Day, but pretty close. And, I don't know.
With that special person in your life.
Yeah, me, myself, and I. And my coworkers in the cafeteria. Like, look at that dork who's always plugged in, Yeah, it's one of those things where it was like, you give it the Cowards 4.5, and then you rewatch it and you're like, okay, who am I kidding? Like, it's a masterpiece, I think. Now, this is kind of a funny story that also actually does involve Woody Allen, because in my earlier 20s, like, I would watch Annie Hall on or around Valentine's Day quite a bit, right? Thinking that this is kind of the perfect sort of somewhat anti-rom-com, a little bit, right? Then, well, for many reasons, some of which I'm sure you could imagine, I didn't really want to watch it that often, right? Every year. So it's kind of started to watch like Modern Romance, which I love, and I've seen a bunch of times, the Albert Brooks movie. And I find the difference between those two movies, which are both kind of about insufferable men in relationships who are like obsessive and awful and controlling and weird, but are also funny. I think the thing is that Annie Hall and Woody Allen's comic persona, he does want you to love him. He wants you to find him charming, I think. He wants you to like the Alvy Singer character and root for the Alvy Singer character. Not all the time, and it's not like that. It's not, the movie's called Annie Hall for a reason, right? I mean, it's about her. But he does want you to, it's an ingratiating sort of thing, right? Whereas I think Albert Brooks' comic persona is, and modern romance in particular, is a little bit like, obviously you think it's funny and you think he's charming and funny, but he's so fucking annoying that and like heinous and awful that you aren't really rooting for him and rooting for this central relationship. You're like, no, get away from him. He's awful.
Yeah.
And then Chilly Scenes of Winter is just way further, like down the line. It's less of a comedy than these two. Even though it was marketed as a comedy, and also had this awful alternative title called Head Over Heels, and this totally hideous poster that makes it look like this rom-com.
Good Tears for Fears song.
Yes, great Tears for Fears song. Terrible title for this movie specifically. Chilly Scenes of Winter, which is the title of the book it's based on, much, much more appropriate. And I just think it's one of the most perceptive movies about like male obsession and loneliness and self-loathing and this totally controlling and like hopeless guy who becomes obsessed with this woman, who he had been dating for a few months and then hasn't seen in a year or whatever. And I just think it goes places that are so much more like honest than any sort of rom-com or anti-rom-com out there. It's such a fascinating movie, and I really love it, and you should watch it. I've seen it twice now, and I want to watch it all the time. I just like, there's something, I'm so drawn to it. John Hurd is the guy.
Yeah.
Right?
Papa Home Alone.
Yeah, from Home Alone. And I think like two movies later, or maybe even one movie later, he makes Cutter's Way, which I gave you the Blu-ray of, and we should watch still.
Yes.
And a similar movie, well, not a similar movie, but just another movie that really worms its way into your brain. Another performance that is like totally different than this one, but he really is good in those two things. I haven't seen. I mean, I don't know.
That'd be cool to see.
Yeah, it's Chilly Scenes of Winter is great, and Cutter's Way we should for sure watch sometime. Yeah,
I do like that name, Chilly Scenes of Winter.
It's a chilly movie.
Cool.
Yeah, I just can't. Okay, there are things in this movie like there's specifically two moments where he's really getting like controlling and weird and like scary. There are two moments that I can't imagine if you went to go see this with the awful Head Over Heels poster,
right?
And that title, and it being sold to you as this light romantic comedy. Like
you
would be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like I
was gonna get laid.
Yeah. Anyway, great movie. One of the best movies about men, I think.
Interesting.
Written and directed by a woman. Yeah.
It's right up there with Men by Alex Garland.
Yeah, of course.
Seminal film about men.
Yes, yes.
Minimal film.
Indeed.
Well, back to our regular scheduled programming of Lightyear.
Yeah.
I liked the voice of Senator Clay Davis, Isaiah Whitlock Jr. from The Wire.
Yeah, that was great.
I wanted him so badly,
me too, man.
just to be like, Lightyear, like what have you done?
It's in almost every single one of his movies.
Yeah,
and they should have, because there's a post credit thing where he's sitting at his desk and one of the bug things comes and hits into the laser, and I was like, they're gonna do it. He's gonna say it, but he doesn't. He doesn't say she it.
Yeah,
I know. I was upset, but great voice cast. Like yeah. Well, sorry, not really. But he's great, and everyone else is pretty good, right? I think
everyone's. Even I gotta say, like Chris Evans does kind of like a impression of Tim Allen almost, but not like quite.
I noticed that at the beginning he was doing it, but it feels like it wore off a little bit. And I know
maybe your ears acclimate to it.
I think so, because I know it's not like they record it chronologically or anything like that. But
I appreciated that he tried at least, because Chris Pratt would never.
Chris Pratt just talks to Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt would just do Chris Pratt.
Yeah, Chris Pratt's like, it's me, Mario.
Yeah, he doesn't even put on a bit of an Italian accent.
Well, did you see that movie?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. They do that awful joke where they're
at
like,
the beginning, yeah,
where they do the voices.
Let's stop talking like that.
Yeah, hey, that's dumb. And it's like, no, it's not. Talk like he's an Italian. This is anti-Italian discrimination.
That's a really bad movie. Talk about a fall from grace. The Mario franchise, at least in terms of films.
I agree. It is much worse than the movie people think is bad, but it's actually good.
Steep drop off.
Yeah, very bad.
But anyway, I know what you're saying about this movie. It's totally inconsequential and meaningless, but I'm not offended by its existence.
I'm not offended by its existence. I just think it's bad. I think it has no soul.
I'm looking forward to the Woody film.
Me too. Yeah. No. Okay. No, I can't do it. I'm sorry. I just don't want it. I just can't do it. I'm sorry.
I think if you've got kids and you want to dip their toes into a bit of sci-fi spacey head action.
You're about to do. You could put a little bit more Woody on that.
No, I like there's like a little visual reference to 2001: A Space Odyssey. Made me smile.
Yeah, the Stargate thing, right? When he goes in the
goes so fast, he goes through the Stargate
thing. Yeah. There's some good animation. What did you think about the whole thing where it's like
we never spoke about that. Yeah.
Zurg, his enemy, his nemesis is actually
an older
Buzz Lightyear. Yeah.
Yeah, so I know I've been more, defending this movie, and while I do appreciate that the plot, the story is so unexpected and is very 2022, again, because, I was a fan of Buzz Lightyear of Star Command, because I agree with you that they should have gone for maybe a more...
Seroquel
treating himself to a little
much
candy.
150 milligrams of quetiapine. Yummy.
And like you said, like they should have gone for a more 90s aesthetic. I was a bit disappointed that like Zurg isn't just a weird alien evil person,
Yeah.
And they kind of keep it in canon, because then in Toy Story 2, Zurg like references Star Wars and he's like, I am your father or something.
Right.
And it's not quite that. He's just an older Buzz.
Yeah.
And when he reveals himself, Buzz is like dad or something.
Right.
So it's kind of cute that they kept it sort of canon like that.
But that's indicative of the whole problem too, right? Because that moment in Toy Story 2 is like a fun joke about sci-fi and about the ridiculousness of these movies a bit, and Star Wars and references and so on. And then, then they've kind of retrofitted it into this like lore, mythology expanding the Toy Story cinematic universe. You know what I mean? It just feels like the enshittification of everything a little bit. Just a little bit.
I know what you mean. I just don't have as much of a problem with it for whatever reason. Like I was like, oh, a bit disappointing, but like I don't care. Like my Buzz Lightyear is not my Buzz Lightyear. My Buzz Lightyear is still, Buzz Lightyear of Star Command. If we're talking about Buzz Lightyear the man, if we're talking about the toy, obviously it's Toy Story. But if we're talking about Buzz Lightyear the man,
that's one thing. Buzz Lightyear the toy, whole nother.
I'm a fan of the Disney animated show Buzz Lightyear of Sonder Command.
Okay, yeah, we did do that. I apologize for that, by the way.
On the pod.
I apologize. This has been the worst series. We're scrubbing the internet of all Toy Story episodes. Although my coworker Amir liked the Toy Story episode.
Yeah, I got compliments from it.
He left. Oh, who complimented? All right, nice. This is great. Do you want me to cut all of this out?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
No, I'll figure it out. Don't worry.
It'll be funny.
I'll do you right. I'll do you right. I've
We're
got
on the
you.
same wave.
We're on the same wave. We're sitting here on a couch, and I'm in a chair, and we're pointing at each other.
Don't forget about this when you're editing it.
I got you.
Don't forget about it.
Don't worry. My best interest, your best interest, one interest.
Yeah.
This is a one interest show.
They thought it was really funny that we were talking. We had an extended conversation about snuff. On the Toy Story
Yeah, we did.
episode.
Yeah, we did. We did. It's true. We did.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, great. Well, I'm happy. That's two compliments from people who don't necessarily have to.
OSNE.
Oh, yeah.
Especially, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. Good for you.
Normally, I just get degraded.
Okay, great. My coworker was like, "Is Toy Story really the first animated movie ever made?" I was like, "No, I'm sorry. I was like, it's just a joke. It's the first CGI animated."
You're leading them astray.
I know. I'm too good at lying.
Yeah, you are good.
Yeah, I'm
are you
good
a
at
Gemini?
no. Do you know what I am?
You're in October.
You know what I am?
What is October?
Libra.
Libra. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're
So part of it's Scorpio, but I'm at the beginning.
you're
I'm
very
Libra.
fair.
Yeah. Am I not? Am I not fair? Am I not fair,
What is
Alex?
this Maximus Decimus Aurelius thing?
I'm doing the thumb. It's going up your butt.
All right, let's
Yeah,
rank
let's go
the Toy
home.
Story
This is great.
franchise.
We're out of here. This is so fast.
Okay, Toy Story, Toy Story 2, Toy Story 3, Toy Story 4, Lightyear for me in descending order. So
Yeah,
Toy Story 1 at the top, Toy Story 1, Toy Story 2, Toy Story 3, Toy Story 4,
Yeah.
Lightyear, and I imagine you're going to swap Toy Story 3 and Toy Story 2.
Well, I think you're right. I think I am going to go Toy Story 3, Toy Story 2, Toy Story 4. Say that. It's a lot. I don't like saying those words anymore. I don't want to ever say those words again. And then Lightyear,
Yeah.
which I think is obviously the worst. Even if you do like it, like it's clearly a
Yeah.
step below. Yeah. Anyway, I'm glad we did these. They were fun.
Oh, wait. What would you give Lightyear out of 5 Zergs? I'm feeling generous. I'm going to give it 3.
I'll give it 2.
There you go.
Yeah, which I think is fair. Am I not fair?
Okay.
I'm fair.
Back to Emperor Ben.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
Bennius Trumbulius.
Yeah, there will be 3 weeks of movies.
Toy Story.
instead of games.
Yeah.
We're all getting into the Coliseum to watch Fellini's
Paddington in Peru.
Roma. Okay, what are we doing next? What are we doing? Are we sure we're doing it? Do you want to do it? Are we doing it? Let's do it.
Yeah, we've
3.
got enough time
3.
that we can.
We're gonna do it, and we're not
Get
gonna
there.
we've been thinking about this for a long time,
Yeah,
and
that's
we've
true.
been pussyfooting around it a little bit. Are we gonna include extra episodes to accommodate extra things? Well,
No.
I think we're gonna do 3. We're gonna do this trilogy
With supplementary viewing if we have
with
time.
supplementary viewing if we have
talk
time.
about
But I'm really
context.
gonna try to, because the supplementary viewing for this, including the director's works and other works, maybe works from the star himself,
Yeah.
are really like some of the greatest movies ever made. So
Yeah.
it would be nice. So let's tell them, and let's do it this way. Bum 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 bum. Dun dun whoosh.
I'm trying to whistle, but it's not working out.
Yeah, like the cat in the movie, the cat in the funny movie. What was that movie again? Lightyear. That's a good movie with Socks the cat.
Socks, yeah.
Yeah. No, we're doing the Dollars trilogy. Whoosh, bow, 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 bow.
Fistful of Dollars,
Yes.
Few Dollars More,
Yes.
and the famous The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Yes.
Long
Now-
movies.
Yes, long movies. It's true, but very good movies.
Yes. I think I've
Are-
only seen The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Interesting.
Yeah, right,
Okay,
crazy,
I have seen all 3, but a very long time ago, like probably high school.
And Ben gets to wax poetic about Clint Eastwood every
yeah.
episode. Every fucking... I think I'm going to take a Valium
Yay.
before we record each episode and
Yay.
just...
Oh,
pass out
yay.
and go to
We're gonna have
sleep
guests
on the
too who
knobs.
are also gonna wax. We're gonna have people. We're gonna stack it with Clint heads. You're gonna be
this is
so
gonna be
upset. It's gonna be
so
great.
gross.
Okay, now are we gonna talk about A Fistful of Dynamite, aka Duck You Sucker, which I have never seen? I will try to watch it for this. Are we going to talk about Once Upon a Time in the West, which of course I have seen and is a great movie, and I think is actually, I might prefer it than to all these other movies. Lightyear included, I've said it. And are we going to do that? Maybe. I'm gonna try to watch it at some point because I do want to see it again. Now, are we gonna do Unforgiven by Clint Eastwood? Well, I've seen that quite a bit. And
I'd be
quite
curious
recently.
to watch that. I haven't seen that since it was like on TV when I was a kid.
You should watch it again. It is so good. Yeah.
I'm gonna hate this.
Yeah.
It's gonna suck.
Okay.
Ben's literally doing.
Yeah, I know. I'm cradling the balls.
Ben's,
I'm
cradling his mind's balls.
Clint's balls. Yeah. Are we gonna talk about Once Upon a Time in America, the great gangster epic by Sergio Leone, his final film?
Seems so unrelated.
So unrelated. I would love to watch it again. So again, maybe who knows? Who knows what we're going to talk about? Are we going to talk about his first movie that people don't really watch that much, The Colossus of Rhodes? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I should watch it. Why not? Big guy. It's about a big guy.
The Toy Story episode's doing pretty well, and I just feel like
how many? Don't say how many, but show me.
Well, I'm not looking at it now.
Oh, okay, great.
But I just feel like it's all going to go downhill.
Oh, I don't know. These are popular movies. Like, people know these movies.
They know them, but
it's not as popular as Toy Story. Toy Story is an easy one for people to listen to because everybody's seen it.
Yeah,
literally everybody has seen it,
and they're funny. What are we going to joke about these movies?
We're going to do this the whole
Eli
time.
Wallach?
Bow, 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 bow.
I guess we could talk in our cowboy voices for the whole episode.
I guess we could.
I give this movie 3 uglies out of good.
Oh, yeah. See, we got plenty of material.
We're set, partner.
We can just do
Giddy up.
What does Clint say in Unforgiven? It's,
go ahead, make my day.
That's not what he says. That's a whole other Clint character. Oh, yeah? You're a Dirty Harry fan? Name all the Dirty Harry movies.
Dirty Harry.
Yep.
Was the Deadpool one of them?
Okay, yes. Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds.
Deadpool.
Yep, the Deadpool. It's called The Deadpool. That's the final one. What's in between?
Isn't it called like Kiss My Gun Sucker or something like that?
No.
I forget.
All right, good. You lose. I win. I'm not going to tell you,
So
even though I do know them, but I'm
so
not going to tell you.
obnoxious.
I'm so sorry. I just want to go to bed. Okay, but before I go to bed, what does Clint say now? Oh, yeah. The little kid, the rookie, not unlike the rookie in Lightyear.
Kiki Palmer.
Voiced by Bill Hader, the original rookie in the beginning. The kid shoots a guy. It's the first man he's killed. He's been talking about how he's a big guy. He's killed lots of people. Blah blah blah. Okay, he actually kills his first person, right? And he's kind of rationalizing it to Clint, right? He's clearly traumatized, right? And he's like, well, he had it coming, right? And then that's what Clint says. We all got it coming, kid. Oh, I love it. Oh, and then that's not the full thing. He also says, hell of a thing killing a man. Take away all he's got, all he'll ever be. Something along those lines. These
are going to be like 3-hour episodes of just that.
Maybe. Maybe. I don't know.
Right.
What is this podcast if not free form? It's like jazz. It's like
bio
biodigital jazz.